A portion of today's video is kindly sponsored by Factor. Well, hey friends, it's Natalie. So glad you stopped by to hang out with me today for this Q&A video. I'm gonna do things a little bit differently this time, not just in the types of questions that I'm answering, but also the way I'm filming this video. You're actually gonna come along with me as I get some stuff done around the house, and I'll be answering questions as I kind of, what's the gentler way of saying it? Feed two birds with one scone. And we'll get to know each other a little bit more in the process. So I guess that's three birds, right? Especially if you comment below, introduce yourself, tell me something interesting about yourself, maybe something that you don't normally tell people, as long as you're okay with that. Also, I wanted to make sure that it was okay for me to share the questions that people sent me over on my Instagram, so I gave you the option to ask them anonymously by including a little heart in your question. And I'm going to try my hardest to only answer questions that I've not specifically answered before in another Q&A video on this channel, as much as I can remember. I've been doing this for over 10 years, so there might be a little bit of an overlap, but I'm gonna try my best. And Weston is actually joining me for maybe a couple of these questions a little bit later on when he's able to hop on and we can answer some of them together. This first question here is a good one. How do you balance content creation with homeschooling and keeping a clean and tidy home? I think the biggest thing is that I really do try to not sweat the small stuff and be a perfectionist about things around here. But as far as balancing like the content creation side of things goes with the housework, the mother work, the homeschooling work that I do, I try to actually double up what I'm already doing in my home that week that I'm filming and create a video around it. Case in point, I'm here filing away the school little booklets that we did this morning. My boys took some tests, so they're ready to move on to the next booklet. I have things to put into this binder, and I'm answering this question as I do it. And that's just sometimes the way it's gotta be. I asked for questions earlier this week, thinking that I would actually like do a sit-down video Q&A. But when I looked at my to-do list and I looked around at the mess around my house and the other commitments that we had this week, I said, you know, I'm gonna have to do my best to multitask. And that's how I have to approach a lot of my content. When my kids were really little and they took naps, I could get away with lots more sit-down videos or batch filming because I could sit down and film multiple in that 2 to 3 hour time that they were taking their afternoon nap. Those were the days. My kids basically all dropped naps around the time Haley turned 2. And sit-down videos, like dedicated filming times, really doesn't happen as much anymore. So it has to work with where I am in my life, where I'm at with our family lifestyle and our rhythm, or it's not gonna happen. Next question I have here, what are some favorite things you're loving right now? Books, shows, products, foods, etc. I haven't really done like a favorites video in a long time. That's because I don't buy a ton of stuff anymore. I've bought less and less as time has gone on. But I mean, right here in front of me, this homeschool planner, oh my goodness. This is something that I'm absolutely loving right now. It has just transformed the planning process and the documentation process for our week, not just with homeschooling, but I do meal planning down in one of the columns for the days, along with our homeschool co-op schedule and the different stuff that my kids are doing. I document any tests that they took. This planner, it's by Treehouse Schoolhouse. It's amazing. I'm not much of a planner person. I've tried all sorts of different ones, paper, digital. This one is just such a good partnership with how my brain works. I'm very, very happy. Absolutely loving it. Something else that's a favorite, okay, moving in a different direction. This is an oldie but a goodie, the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist spray. I have used this for years and years. And now that the air is starting to get a little bit drier, we've been burning in our wood stove, my skin definitely starts to feel it. So I will actually spray this on my face a few different times throughout the day. I like keep it out on my kitchen counter. Along with all the other junk that's on it right now, I need to move on to the kitchen and start cleaning that. And it really does help my skin feel not so crackly and dry because of that wood stove. We also tried to like have a pot of water going so that it'll replenish the moisture, the humidity in the air, but sometimes that's not enough and I just need a little bit of a pick-me-up. This has hyaluronic acid and oat in it, and it's so soothing and so hydrating. I love it so much. Okay, another favorite of mine is the honey mustard chicken meal from Factor. Oh my gosh. Every time the new week comes around and it's time for me to select our meals, if I don't just go with what they pre-select for me on the Factor app, I always look out for our favorites on it, and the honey mustard chicken has definitely been one of those. And thanks so much to Factor for sponsoring the next couple of minutes of this video. While I have sponsor Natalie share that with you for a bit, I'm gonna move on into the kitchen and pick the next question to answer for you. Factor delivery day is the best. I'm so excited to have my fresh, never frozen, ready to heat meal kits right there on my doorstep, ready to stock up my fridge for the week. Factor meals are made with premium fresh ingredients. They're chef crafted, dietitian approved, and the best part, they can be made in as little as 2 minutes, which makes this busy mama very happy. It's super easy to go on the Factor website or their mobile app and set our orders, make selections of the different many meal options that they have. And honestly, you can't go wrong with anything that they offer. They have keto options, veggie and vegan options, calorie smart, carb conscious. We typically go with the protein plus meals because Weston and I love to have a good amount of protein in our meals, and everything that we've ever tried from Factor is absolutely delicious. And the plans are super flexible. It's actually really easy to pause or skip weeks if you know you're gonna be out of town or if you just don't need it that week. There's no hoops to jump through to like cancel or pause your subscription. They make it very user-friendly and pocketbook friendly. If you'd like to check out Factor for yourself and help support my channel in the process, then go to the link in my description box, factor75.com. Use code NatalieB50 for 50% off your first Factor order, plus 20% off your next month of orders. That's factor75.com. Enter code NatalieB50 for 50% off your first Factor box, plus 20% off your next month of orders. And thanks so much to Factor for sponsoring that portion of today's video. I am actually gonna eat my next Factor meal for lunch here. Gotta do it really quick. And I forgot that we have piano lessons today, so I'm not quite able to tackle the kitchen mess right now, but I will when we get home. So I will see you then for the mess and the next Q&A question. Home again from piano lessons. Put my purse over there. This is our piano book bag. It says, these are a few of my favorite things. I actually got this from the PR team for the Sound of Music movie. A couple years ago or last year, I thought it was an appropriate music bag. Speaking of Sound of Music, I remember one of the questions that I actually got a couple kind of like it, what are your top 3, top 5 movies of all time? Sound of Music is number 1. Then it goes The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan, White Christmas, and then The Quiet Man. And then I don't know if this counts, but if it does, absolutely in 5th place for me would be the Mr. Toad and Ichabod duo of Disney movies that we watch every year on Halloween. That's the top 5 or 6-ish. Top 5, 6. This kitchen is such a mess. Oh my goodness. Speaking of Mr. Toad, I left this in the van. My Mr. Toad, what have I been missing? Motor Mania mug that I have with yogurt spoons in it. I took this out of the van, opened loaf of bread, sugar pumpkins that we got from my mom's house when we visited earlier this week, dental floss, and every random condiment, agave syrup, sauce, oil, pot and pan that you can think of. This reminds me of a question that I got. Let me find it. Mountain Mover Mama, what is something you're struggling with right now? Any improvements you could make? I will let narration Natalie take this away while I clean up this kitchen. So our family has been going through a bit of a change, more than a bit, And I don't want to be vague, but I'm actually not ready to talk about it yet. So that's going to be in a future video. But through this change that we have been going through, I have neglected what I was typically doing in my evening routine, which was totally resetting my kitchen. I have fallen out of that rhythm and routine, and it has really affected the feel of my home that I'm living in. We've been quite busy with some stuff in our personal life, and so we've basically only had the time to clean up our dinner dishes and get them in the dishwasher and get that started, maybe wipe some crumbs off the counter, but other non-daily items, random things that need to find a home or are just in the wrong spot, have just kind of been left there. I've let mail pile up on the counter, which is so not like me. All those random weird things like sugar pumpkins and dental floss and silly stuff that's just kind of collected on the surfaces is driving me crazy. I've been struggling with this. I've been dealing with some physical and mental health stuff, and my house can really reflect that. So it's a goal of mine and Weston to get back into that routine of getting our kitchen reset at the end of the day and going above and beyond just the nightly cleaning that we need to do, and really setting ourselves up for success when we wake up in the morning to a clean kitchen so that we can continue to make food for our family, or have it available for our family to make food for themselves, be able to easily find things and not have to wade through the clutter. E Little Bit says, what is a must-have in your kitchen for drawers or cupboard storage or organizational? Look, I love organizational bits and bobs just as much as the next person. That's actually a lie. I don't really like organizational stuff. I like the idea of it, I should say. I think what I should say is I'm attracted to the idea of a well-organized, pretty, Pinterest-worthy space as much as the next person. However, how they function in my house might be a little bit different than what you see on Pinterest or HGTV. Most of the time, a specific sort of organizational item that promises to make my life easier does the exact opposite for me, because it just becomes another piece of clutter in a cabinet or in a drawer. Honestly, the biggest thing that helps keep my kitchen organized is to not fill it with stuff. And the organizational pieces, after a while, just with how my brain works and how our family functions, it truly just becomes stuff. The question that I got from Kat McCoy 34, she says, can you tell about how you meal plan? I do sort of a reverse meal plan. So I take a look at what's already in my fridge, already in my pantry, stuff that I can sort of make the basis of a meal. And then when we're doing weekly or bi-weekly grocery shopping, I will piece in like extra elements that I can. So my meal planning doesn't necessarily look like the week ahead going every little detail of every dish that I want to make, but I will more so look at what protein we have. Oh, I have a couple of steaks left. I have a whole chicken. That can be one meal, and then it can turn into soup for the next night. And I'll kind of roughly sketch out what I can make from it, and then customize and detail more so in the moment or in that day. Today I had half a bag of frozen French fries, which are on the air fryer basket on the counter right now. The frozen beer battered Alaska cod was like $5 off a package at Costco. So I have those two things. I'm going to cook up this fish. I actually have some buns left, so we can do the option of turning this into fish sandwiches. Hey Liam, could you go to the garden and cut some tarragon for me?
Where is it?
The herb bed. It's behind the sage. So to customize a basic meal, fish and chips, I'm going to make a homemade tartar sauce, kind of a tarragon cream sauce. So Liam is snipping tarragon for me. This is gonna get popped into the oven when it's time. Weston's on his way home from work. That's basically how I do meal planning. Hello, hello. It's a couple days later. Stormy, windy October day. We're just kind of puttering around here for the weekend, getting some things done around this place. Weston, I think, is working on cleaning out the van right now. I was just looking at the top of this piano, thinking I could do a little bit of decluttering and tidying up. Surfaces, man, I'm telling you, we have so many catch-alls around here. But I just can quickly grab a couple of things, tidy it up. These are Weston's. Oh, there's my Apple Watch. I've been looking for this. I have no idea when I even threw this up there. When was the last time I wore this? 50 years ago. Oh, and I got this from Amazon. It's very specific to hold my guitar on the side of my piano. And this reminds me of a question I got. C. Claire Alexis says, what's something you hope you've learned or mastered in 5 years from now? It's the guitar. I have had this guitar. I don't know, like, if this is a guitar of quality or anything. It's an Esteban. My parents bought it for me when I was a teenager, and I learned some basic chords. But I would really like to master this instrument. I play piano, mostly when it comes to music. I'm a singer, and I've been doing a lot of worship leading at our church, especially in the last year. And I just have been struck with how much more convenient it would be if I had the guitar mastered, because I can take worship leading anywhere at that point. So in my old age, I have picked up the guitar again, and with a pretty solid basis of music theory and experience under my belt, I expect that within the next year, up to 5 years, I will be able to get a solid foundation of guitar skills. The idea is that this, I'm gonna try to gently do it so I don't scratch the piano. This would hang there. I guess I could keep the piano open for a little bit. And my guitar would hang on the side of the piano. That way it's not getting kicked around in the spot that I just had it sitting on the floor. It's much better to hang a guitar. So I will have to put a pin in my guitar hook situation. I'm gonna see if Weston can help me sort of widen this hook so that it can actually fit onto the side of the piano right now. Something else I can go do a bit of straightening up in is our book cabinet under the TV. Let's go do that and I'll answer the next question. Hello. Rodzina W. Budowi, is that how you pronounce it? What books are you reading right now? Well, while I declutter and organize this book cabinet a little bit, which seems to be pretty much a weekly task, I will tell you about the books that I'm reading. So, this top shelf is supposed to be like Bibles and Bible study books. Aquasocks hat. Is that yours, mister? My kids have been really enjoying, we're reading or listening to the audiobook of The Hobbit right now, but it's been fun for them to look at a graphic novel while we're going through the audiobook. So this one has been fun, but it doesn't belong on this shelf. I'm gonna throw my books in here that I've been currently reading, and I'm just now realizing that they're both very like beige Becky, cream color with gold writing. I've talked about this one before many times, and I'm trying to answer new questions, so I won't stay too long here on Atomic Habits by James Clear. I basically have this in a constant rotation as soon as I end it. Kind of like the Golden Gate Bridge. Once they're done painting it, it's time to start at the beginning again and continue the process all over again. That's kind of how Atomic Habits is in my life. And then a new one that I picked up recently is The Hidden Peace by Joel Muddamalle. He's an awesome modern day theologian, and this book has been speaking very directly to some of the struggles in my own heart. He just kind of takes you through this journey of seeking the Lord's peace by weeding out the world's or the fleshly pride that we have. It's been very, very impactful. I'm gonna throw that in up here with my books, looking much better in here. Since we're here and the kids are relatively quiet, I do have video games going up on this TV up here. We've got our weekend video games going on. I'll just take this opportunity to answer a couple more questions. Michelle Scheibel, how do you feel about homeschooling and dual enrollment, junior high, high school? I have always said that homeschooling is not all or nothing. It's not one size fits all. So taking advantage of opportunities that are available to you and making your children's education work for them and not the other way around is, in my opinion, what homeschooling is all about. So that will look different from season to season for different kids within the same family, for different families from year to year. Weston and I were also dually enrolled during high school. We went to the same private Christian school together, which was a school sort of designed to come alongside homeschoolers during that time. So we were homeschooled, private schooled. Also, he was enrolled with the public school for sports. So it was a very conglomerated experience, and it was an awesome experience. And we are totally open to doing that for our kids, not just in junior high and high school, but at any time. There are school sports available to us, various programs, computer labs, libraries, all sorts of stuff that we can take advantage of and not make homeschooling a end-all, be-all, all or nothing sort of situation. You've mentioned your kids like to help in the garden. What is their favorite thing you've grown? Judah, what is your favorite thing we've grown in the garden?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Oh, well then you must have been really disappointed this year. Our tomato harvest was abysmal at best. Haley, do you have a favorite thing we've grown in the garden? What was your favorite thing that we've taken out of our garden and gone, look at what we grew? Cucumbers? Cucumbers are pretty good. How about you, Liam? What's your favorite thing we've ever grown in our garden?
Celery.
Celery. Okay, my tailbone is starting to go numb sitting on this floor, so I'll answer one more question before I get up and move somewhere else and work on something else. Marnie Sims 09 says, what is the name of your hair dye shade? I want to ask my stylist for a warm brown. That's very sweet. I don't dye my hair. This is my natural hair color. I have yet to have grays show up. I thought for sure with other women in my family and just the genetics that I've inherited, I thought for sure I would have grays. By now, I don't have a single one. When I do start to go gray, my plan right now, I say this now, but my plan is just to let it happen and to not chase the gray and to not try to cover up my roots. So, don't hold me to it. We'll see how it goes. It's just something that I'll have to see how I feel when that time comes. But for now, this is what I've got. Ever since breaking my tailbone when I gave birth to my twins, I cannot sit on the floor for very long. Whew, it's a blustery day. I was gonna step out here and see what Weston is up to. I think he's cleaning out the vehicles. He has his truck over there in front of the garage. I think I hear the vacuum going. Mostly what I hear is our windstorm happening right now. It's just been crazy. Looks like he's already cleaned out the van because we have a pile of things that he cleaned out of it. That reminds me of a question that I saw. Steph F923 says, what type of car do you drive? Why do you like it? Do you think it is good for families? We drive a Toyota Sienna minivan. This is actually the second Sienna that we've had. The other one that we had was a little bit older than this. We loved it, but we wanted to upgrade and we saved up for it. So we actually gave that Sienna to my sister. So all four of us sisters drove Siennas. We'd show up to my mom and dad's house and there were 4 Toyota Siennas of all various years and special models and colors in my parents' driveway. It would just crack me up every time. But we all really, really love the Siennas for our families. None of us are opposed to driving minivans. I have never thought of a minivan, as like a frumpy sort of vehicle. Do not care. Very spacious, very reliable. The all-wheel drive version is so awesome with our weather and sometimes when we get snow and ice. We have a hybrid model, so we get excellent gas mileage. Could not recommend it more. Jump for the hairball. Is that gross? I won't show it on camera.
Why is there 2?
Because we have 2 cats. Hello.
Hi.
You want to clip that on? Could you also take that, you're tall enough to take the wind chime down so it's not absolutely obnoxious while we tell an embarrassing story. So in my last video, I think, I shared about how Weston and I met when we were about 5 years old, around there.
Something like
Could have
that.
been actually a little bit earlier than that. We don't have an exact memory of like, oh, that's the first time I saw you because, you know, again, we were 5. But in that video, I said I actually have an embarrassing story from when we were about 11 years old that I thought I would share with you guys. I'm going to try to make it quick. So many of the questions that I got for this Q&A, so many people said, please tell us the embarrassing story. We want to hear the embarrassing story. So this is how it went down. Weston and I, obviously, we know each other. We're friends. We grew up in the same church and homeschool co-op. Our parents knew each other. My parents had just moved into the house that they're actually in now.
Oh, this story.
It was January and snow came down. So exciting. First snow in our new house. We were one of the only houses on the street. It was pitch black outside. My sisters and I were getting ready for bed, jumping up and down like crazy goofballs in basically, I think we were pretty much wearing nothing, just being silly. And my mom came into our room, you know, to help us get on with bedtime. And she said, girls, no, stop jumping up and down in front of the window. Someone might drive by and see you. She's like, you never know who's gonna come driving up our driveway, honking their horn. And my sister and I were like, it's like 8 o'clock at night. Who, after it snows, is gonna start driving up our driveway? Like, people don't even know we live here yet. We just moved in. So we keep doing it. We keep jumping up and down in front of the window. And what do you know? But Weston's mom and dad, with Weston and his younger brother Kyle, drive up our driveway, honking the horn. Our bedroom window is right there at the front of our house, and we dropped to the floor. Like, so embarrassed. We didn't even know who it was.
First time I saw you naked.
Okay, wait. Back up.
I didn't see you. And I was the same age, so hold on. Hold on. Pause.
They didn't see anything. We
No.
later learned. I think my mom may have asked your mom, like, did you see anything when you drove up? And no, and, you know, we couldn't see anything. There was a glare on the window or whatever.
Yeah.
But we didn't know who it was until my sister and I, in our pajamas, round the corner to the front room, and there are Weston and Kyle standing there. And, you know, we're 11 and 9 years old, so it was particularly like, there are boys in our house.
Gross. Yeah.
It was so embarrassing. It literally still stands out in my mind as one of my most embarrassing moments ever. We were mortified. I know if that's one of my most embarrassing moments.
You're doing okay.
I'm doing pretty good. It had snowed for the first time in our house. We were so excited the next morning to go run around out in this beautiful fresh snow. And what do Weston and Kyle do, like 11 and 9-year-old boys, but run
Pee in it.
through
Oh, run in it.
run through our snow. We hadn't planted grass yet, so it was just dirt underneath. So it went from beautiful, pristine, pastoral snow to mud. And
Poopy brown snow.
We didn't even get to like be the first ones to make the footprints in our snow.
I saw you naked and we ruined your snow. It's a win-win.
But you didn't see me
I
naked.
didn't, no.
Remember that
No, I
night?
just remember driving down a road and pulling up a driveway. And then being around girls, and it was awkward and embarrassing and uncomfortable.
But even though you didn't know that you saw us
Yeah.
dancing like
We did not see you.
naked idiots in front of our window after our mom literally warned us, like she knew exactly
There's
what
a
would happen.
foreshadowing.
No one, the thing is, my mom and dad didn't know.
They didn't
It
know.
was a complete surprise visit,
Yeah.
so it was, there you go. There's my
There it
most
is.
embarrassing moment. What was your impression of Natalie when you were kids? Or teenagers, I guess, too.
Tiny,
I was tiny.
sweet, caring, loving. Yeah, always just kind and took care of people and was easy to talk to and didn't feel intimidated or,
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah, you're just easy to talk to the whole time. So our friendship, so it was an easy transition into loving you more than just as a friend. And
Yeah.
it was easy to just go into that because you're like the only girl I could talk to essentially without being all like weird and awkward and embarrassed. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know what that says about me, but that's really sweet.
Yeah. So
Well, and the rest is history. So there
There
you
we
go. You want to button up the car project before?
before it rains again, it's warm and windy right now.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah, I just got a notification on my phone that we have a severe like rain
Oh,
alert.
great.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
I need to
maybe-
go fix that.
Okay. Love you.
Love
I'll
you
take
too.
the microphone. Thank you very much. Haley's headed out to go rake some leaves and play in the wind, apparently. It seems like the wind is dying down and the rain is gonna kick up. And I think I'm just about out of time for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some different questions than what I've answered in the past, having Weston join me to share that embarrassing moment. Thank you so much for sending in your questions over on Instagram. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Thanks so much for spending a little part of it here with me, here with us on my channel, and I'll catch you later.